1 week after People, steel roller coasters that once echoed with screams are now silent. Theme parks were one of the world's favorite holiday destinations. Roller coasters first appeared in America in the 1880s, and for nearly a century, all coasters were wooden. Although the first steel coaster was built in 1959, it wasn't until the 1970s that a breakthrough in engineering resulted in the birth of the extreme coaster. Looping, inverted, zero-G scream machines, like the Silver Bullet at Knott's Berry Farm in Southern California. The extreme coasters relied on highly engineered steel.
The steels that go into a ride like this have to have certain characteristics. Steel is basically about 97 or 98% iron, but then like a good soup, it has a few little things stuck in there, some silicon in it, some manganese, but the most important element is carbon. You can increase the strength of the steel by adding carbon. It's really a small amount, but it's a very powerful addition.
Adding as little as 0.5% of carbon can make steel 2 to 3 times stronger. But even the toughest steel has an ancient enemy: rust.
If we get a scratch on the ride here, we go ahead and sand it up and protect it and recoat it.
Now, without maintenance, a tiny scratch lets rust begin on the exposed steel. "100 years after People," the 150-foot-tall curves of Knott's Berry Farm's Silver Bullet are about to reach their breaking point. Incredibly, this coaster's doom comes from the inside, due to a surprising feature hidden in its bones. To keep this noisy ride from disturbing the theme park's neighbors, engineers filled each of the rails of the 1,300-foot-long coaster with sand. This actually cuts down the ride's decibel level by at least half.
It's actually, if you've heard it run, it's an extremely quiet ride.
But hairline cracks in the coaster's steel, after 100 years of neglect, have turned the sand into a coaster killer.
Well, it's kind of an ironic thing. If you have sand in the track, if you get moisture in there, if you get water in there, then you'll trap it in there, and that will probably accelerate corrosion on the inside.
Water, trapped by the sand, speeds up internal corrosion in the rails, weakening the steel, including the bolts.
It's the connections that start to fail first. That's almost true in any structure.
Bolts snap, steel bends, and the entire track begins to wave crazily. This extreme coaster makes its final plunge.